In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast. Hello, friends. Welcome to a warm, beer popping,
not a warm
can
beer.
snapping, warm beer enjoying episode of another pointless automotive podcast. Your hosts, I'm Frank. Who else do we have in the house?
Yes, I'll be joining in today. My name is Chadwick.
Currently, we have our first sponsor. It's NPR, National Public Radio, and no, we should. Is there a way can NPR like sublet out shows? Right? Like, could we somehow get some of that like National Public Radio money? Because I feel like that's the real money is get government cheddar.
Getting that government the government cheese was actually a bad sign, just to be totally clear. If you were pulling in that government cheese, you were in a rough household. But I think they have someone that actually audits the programming they put on radio. So yeah, they're gonna be like 3 minutes in and be
damn
like,
it, Doge.
Again, they mentioned spread butt cheeks within the first 5 minutes of the podcast. We're gonna have to talk about Donald Trump doing something. I don't know, whatever they talk about at NPR anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But all I know, I don't really know. It's a great source for information. I just care to not have information.
Yeah.
And so I don't
blissfully
really, but
unaware.
what I do know is that they frequently speak like this. And it's very like non-dramatic, monotone. Not here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another pointless automotive podcast. Boy, do we have a barn burner?
Oh,
what does that? Does anyone actually really know what a barn burner is? I know what barn burning is, or no, that's barnstorming. Is
yeah, that's different.
Baseball, like going around and playing. I don't know what's a barn burner? Does anyone know?
Who knows?
Comment. But what? We won't be talking about the origins and etymology of barn burner. We will be discussing today adventure rigs on a budget, because we're always on a budget. And if you are, take notes. And this was Chadwick, you came up with this thought.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've got dreams of doing some light road tripping, light off-roading, perhaps a camping rig, perhaps you've done really horrible things in your home life and you need to escape the house for a little bit, so you need to go live in this thing for a bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What do you have in mind? Like what drove this?
I like to keep my options open. I'll keep it to myself. Thank you very much. Right. Bug out vehicle.
That's right.
So I've owned a few adventure rigs in my time. I'm a big fan. And, I've had I know it's boring, but 100 Series Land Cruiser was a fantastic off-road machine, way overqualified for the job it was hired for. I didn't do too much with it. We beat on it in an off-road park, which was pretty goddamn fun. And of course, it was like barely a couple small droplets of sweat forming on its brow as we pushed it there. But also, like, my Isuzu Trooper was pretty competent. I had a Forester XT. And for me, my friend, adventure rigs for me primarily are like, throw the fishing gear in, go to the fishing spot, maybe go camping down a slightly unimproved dirt road and set up a campsite.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I've been craving it. I think it's because the weather's getting nicer. I love being outdoors. So I'm really starting to look at these vehicles, and of course our minds, I'll be this is a fair assessment, we're going to go to the less traditional avenues of getting off-road, right? Like, I think that's it's how we work. I think the tracker's impacting me a little bit, even though it is, it's a rear-wheel drive simple one, but it's there. It's a truck. It's really getting me in the mood to get something kind of fun and, like you said, get off those goddamn roads.
Yeah. And to be clear, I think there's for what you're looking for is actually kind of what I am. I mean, I'm always looking for random stuff, but it's I'm interested in this as well. My son, who is 8, is very much like wants to go camping, and is also like, "Hey, Dad, let's have some sort of like adventure mobile, but we can go camp, like a camping rig that isn't my Suburban." Because that gets the job done. And in fact, it's a very good option for what we're discussing here.
Absolutely.
But I've been thinking of the same thing, but with a slight twist on it, where I would want mine to be like I can go up I don't know 20 to 15 degree grade on a dirt road, and that's realistically the most off-roady part that I'm going to do with it.
Right.
So I would love it to have ground clearance, but have some on-road chops a little bit.
Yeah, got it.
Go blast up Highway 1. And so maybe like almost more like a rally
Ooh.
mobile, but like that you can camp in.
Okay.
So that's what I've been like kind of bouncing around my mind. So maybe yours is more like off-road first, on-road second, and I'm the inverse of that.
Well, for me though, and no, actually it is getting
Or
to where I want to
50-50.
go. Yeah, 50
Yeah.
50 is the way to go because my chirper wasn't that. I remember I took it down to like the morning motors with the DWA homies, and that thing over the 17, which is a very hilly, twisty road with whatever horsepower it has. It says 120. That was its best day ever.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore. That thing was miserable, downshifting into second to go like 35 up a hill. I want God bless that truck. Loved it so much. But something, maybe some more modernity sprinkled in there. It kind of takes care of that because a lot of the more modern stuff, and I don't mean anything too modern. That was late 80s. Maybe something early 2000s will scratch that itch, right? So I've got a good list I put together of stuff that kind of checks a lot of those boxes. Like you said, I need it to be good enough on road to get places because like sometimes you do want to stretch out those trips. The Trooper was fine going 5 miles to the fishing hole, but I want something where I can go like 20 miles out and go to a campsite or some other crazy adventure, if you will. So I kind of built my list around that. So like highly capable. Reliability is a factor for these kind of things. Last thing you want to do is go out camping. My son is also 8 and loves the outdoors. And the last thing you know, you get a cooler full of fish and you're ready to go home and crank no start or like there's some kind of fluid just pouring out. It's not good. It's not good. So your adventure rig needs to get you to the adventure, through the adventure, and then back home. So I have a list.
Ooh boy, I have a mental list. In fact, I'm Google searching one real quick to make sure I'm not hallucinating.
Does it exist?
Exactly. Is this thing?
Was the Homer a real truck or car?
Yes, I just say Homer for every single potential offering. No, so a few things I wanted to, I guess, I don't know. One of the first things that came to my mind here. And this is something we've brought up a bunch in the past, I think even discussing around this particular topic. I'm still sort of semi-casually looking for an manual Outback XT.
Yeah, very cool.
Because it reasonably reliable.
Yep. They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah. It's, the NA versions had a lot of head gasket issues.
Yeah, not fine.
And but even then, like if it's been resolved, you could buy one cheap. Fine. But I want the turbocharger to give you the XT. That can be pretty fun. Now that they're soft, but you can
what you want in a mild off road, right?
Yeah. It's got ground clearance, but you can put some decent tires on it and have fun on the road too. And you can just sleep in the back of the thing. You could do the rooftop tent, which I wouldn't do. But yeah, and they're not overly expensive. You can get one decent one for under $5. It'll have some miles on it. It'll be dinged up, but guess what? This isn't a showpiece. This is a go tear the mud flaps off it kind of a thing, and go drive it hard in inclement weather and hit potholes and don't care. And get it muddy.
Would you kick a Forester XT out of bed like that first gen I had?
No, and honestly, the Forester XT is probably the better car.
It is. The price is the inhibitor there, right? Because they do fetch a premium for a manual.
It's a very
Forester
unique
XT.
thing.
Yeah, they're super hard to come by.
Yeah, and I will spit off some more, trucky vehicles, but like a lot of what I think is right in this wheelhouse for my mission here, which is maybe 80% road, 20% off road, is more of the station wagon variant.
Okay. Yeah.
Station wagon with clearance. And I think the best blend of that is either the Forester XT, like you mentioned, or
Hmm.
the Outback XT. Outback's a little longer.
Yeah, legacy
Um,
platform versus
yeah,
Forester. Yeah,
yeah,
which
a
is
little
Impreza.
longer, a little less butch, for lack of a better way to put it.
Mm,
The interior is a little higher grade, a little, not a
that's
lot, but
right.
there's like
Yeah.
wood trim
You can
and
get full
stuff,
leather. Yeah,
full leather, all of that. So yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And I
cool
had
car.
seen
Yeah.
one that I was maybe going to look at for the $3,500 budget
Oh
challenge.
shit.
That I had found. It had 200,000 miles. It had like 210,
Okay.
which means it was probably due for a timing belt.
Hmm.
And the guy was asking 35 on the button, red,
Mm.
manual.
Wow.
But I felt
God, they're
that wasn't.
cool. Yeah.
They're very cool. I thought that was a better for what we're discussing today, less for a rally fighter.
Agree. Yeah.
How about you? What do you have in
So
your Rolodex?
I love where you're at. I think those Outback XTs are slept on. I think
Mhm.
it's so cool. It's a lifted legacy wagon. Manuals were pretty plentiful, shockingly. You can
Yeah,
find
more
the
than you would
manuals
think.
kicking around. It's who would have thought that? But they're super cool. I'm with you. First on my list though, I'm going first or second gen Pathfinder. I absolutely
Yes.
love these trucks. I think they've aged so well. They're so the first gen especially so boxy.
Mm-hmm.
The little triangle window thing that they kept for a little while. I
Mm-hmm.
love that design touch. I love how the second gen could be had with the back doors were kind of hidden with the little
Yeah.
up high top handle there. I always thought these things looked like proper off-road trucks. The design of it just it's very utilitarian. It's
Mm-hmm.
very pared down on the interior. And they actually, if you put the time and effort into them, they're pretty easy to maintain, affordable to maintain. Parts availability is there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're robust. These things will take a beating, like a complete
Yeah.
beating, and still function. So, I I like the first gen because the aesthetics. I think it looks a little cooler. The second gen still looks cool, and you get a little more like that modern reliability. The engine's upgraded, you get more power.
Mm-hmm.
Both can be had manual with a manual four-wheel drive, high and low. Oh,
And
they kind of just do
the
it for
best
me.
part?
Mm.
You you get to avoid the Toyota tax.
This is a same with the Nissan pickups, right?
Yeah.
Same exact logic there. But
Mm-hmm.
these Pathfinders look so good, man. They're just it
Yeah, they're
belongs.
cool.
And if they're a little fucked up, a little off-road patina, if you will, they just look
Yeah.
right. They just and you put some
Mm-hmm.
bigger tires on there, a slight lift, and they're ready to go, man. They're ready to just kick ass. So for me, and the prices, like you said, not just avoiding Toyota tax, these things are super, super approachable as far as price is
Yeah.
concerned.
I
It's
mean, yeah,
wild.
the hardest part is finding one that isn't a little too edgy.
Yeah, a little too
That's the
like.
hardest part. They're out there. They're not unheard of.
Mhm.
But finding the one for say 4 grand that maybe has 230,000 miles but is in really good shape, it's doable.
Yep,
You
it
just got to
is.
hunt a little bit. And
Good
but yeah, they're
truck.
very cool.
Talk about it like a truck. Like that's the kind of truck you get in. You get a little mud on it. You get a couple branch scrapes down the side, a little
Mhm.
trail rash, if you will. Um,
Yes.
and they go anywhere. The low range gearbox is solid.
Mhm.
The gearboxes are solid.
Yeah.
Engine is solid. That little V6. Uh,
Yeah.
I would rock the hell out of a first or
PG-30.
gen. Yep, first or second gen Pathfinder. High on my list.
Are you team 2 door or team 4 door?
I'm team two door, but now that I have two kids, four doors looking like it might be the play, and it's a little more modern, a little safer. But
Yeah.
I love how they hid that door handle. When you look at the side
Hmm.
profile, it really hides that back door well. And I think aesthetically, it still checks a lot of boxes for me.
Yeah, for sure. And the cool thing is, I agree. I'm team 2 door, except you do on the 4 door. God, because I think it changed over in 1990, 89 or 90 is they killed off the 2 door and they were all 4 doors.
Hmm.
And with that, you got they did a powertrain update. So is a pretty significant fuel injection
That's
boost where it
right.
went from like a throttle body injected to a multi-point
Hmm.
EFI. And so it went from like 140 horsepower or 100 and like 30 to I think 155.
Right.
And
Very noticeable.
it's a
Yeah.
much more reliable. You get better fuel economy. It's a much better thing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I want the 2 door, but I know it's a compromise powertrain wise.
Yep.
but yeah, I want one. I
Yeah,
I agree.
the really clean two-door, like the early ones, are a little pricier just
Hmm.
because they are getting a bit rare. But yeah, the second gen ones are very affordable. So
Hmm.
I wouldn't have any shame
Yeah,
getting an early second gen four-door, you know.
or late. The thing is, the second gen, when it became like a third gen, it was really like a second gen and a half.
Yeah,
Where
it
in
rounded itself off
2000,
a little bit.
because yeah, in 2000 they it's the same. It's really the same bones,
Oh yeah.
same chassis, same axles, same suspension. But yeah, you got a pretty significant interior and exterior update in 2000, and then 2001, um, you got the 3.5 liter, which is the come on, brain, help me out here. Not VG. What's the one everyone
VQ
hates?
baby.
VQ.
VQ.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jesus. You went to VQ land, which is in that setup is an
Healthy.
excellent
Yeah,
engine.
healthy
Yeah.
bump and power. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got, I think it's 240 horse, unless
Wild.
you've got a 5 speed, in which case, because you could get a 5 speed manual,
Hmm.
and I think then you got an extra 15 horsepower bump or something.
Awesome
And
stuff.
those are very cool and still quite cheap. Um, or QX4.
Okay.
You're gonna
Very
play in that
cheap.
gen.
Yep. Very cheap.
And it's very obviously a Pathfinder, a
Let's be
second,
honest.
third gen Pathfinder.
Yep.
But they're nice, and that's a good option too.
Well, hey,
Um,
piggyback on that. Let's go
yeah.
Xterra, supercharged Xterra.
Hmm.
I would fuck around with one of those pretty hard. That'd be kind of fun. I like how they
Yeah,
look
I mean,
too.
I'd be limp, but yeah, I would fuck with one hard
That's okay.
or limp.
You could soak all day in a Xterra supercharged.
This is true. They're big in the greater Salt Lake City region,
Just
and
don't gyrate, man. You gotta watch your gyrations.
exactly, it's I know like an eighth grade dance is you have to leave room for the Lord. I don't know what you're really. There's not a lot of space there in the soaking community.
No, no.
Um, and plus there's all those extra wives. Anyways, the thing with the Xterra, first gen Xterra, is it's that same VQ 33 or VG 33
Yep, same motor.
E motor that was in that Pathfinder. And it's funny, it's somehow even a more robust Pathfinder. Like the
Hmm.
interiors are like hard plastic, but like okay, like you can
Yeah,
just throw dirt and mud at it and you're not gonna
sure.
hurt it. You get the little safety first aid kit in the back. Um, those are cool. That was a
They
very
are
cool machine
cool.
when they came out.
Yeah,
And I don't
still
think
are.
they've lost any cool points.
Yep. Get it in a bright, cool color and beat the shit out of it.
Yes. In my mind, they're all either yellow or
Silver. There's so many silver
a lot
ones
of
too.
silver, but I was going to say there's that like non-metallic medium blue color
Yep, which is a good
that I
color.
see a lot.
The yellow
Yeah.
though, yellow supercharged should be fun. I don't think you get a manual supercharged, unfortunately.
You can I think
Um,
you can. I think I
I
looked this up and I think you can.
it's got to be
I
a
think they're just
unicorn.
rare.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and even that was the last few years because they're if you've driven just a regular automatic one, yeah.
Yeah, I've driven a manual and I've driven a manual Frontier, which is essentially the same thing.
Mm-hmm. They are
Um,
not fast. They are, especially like at altitude. If
compared to my Trooper, they're rocket ships.
well, sure,
It's
yeah.
everything, right? Everything in perspective. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not fast, but the power, if you're gonna get into some shit, like it's good fucking power, dude.
Yeah.
That's like very good. 200 horsepower is a lot. Like 140 feels good. 150, 160 feels good in like an old vintage off-roader. But yeah, these
What is
good
that? What the
trucks.
supercharge are like 200 or 205 or something like that?
They got to be north of 200. Absolutely.
Because I know
Yeah.
the NA is 160.
Yeah. It's got to be like
Um,
215, 220. Got to be.
yeah, I think 215 feels about right. I don't
Yeah.
know. Whatever.
We'll just put an undersized pulley on it and just fucking.
Yeah, right. God, that's got to be a thing.
Absolutely.
But you want to talk about Toyota tax.
Uh-oh.
Imagine if you had, let's say, 150,000 mile end run, which was what, like 2002, 2003. I think 2004 was the last year of that.
Mm.
You get the supercharged. First gen Xterra, call it a 2002 supercharged 120,000 mile truck in really good shape. What is that, like an $8,000 rig?
Yeah, 7,500. Yeah, yeah.
If that was a 2002 4Runner, same mileage, TRD supercharger on it from new, that's worth what, 28?
I was gonna say like high 19s to like mid 20s. Yeah.
I mean,
Depending on
yeah, at
condition, like if the
least.
paint's
Yeah.
not like rotted
If
off
it's
of
like
it.
really clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's they're kind of they are a steal. And if you don't want to spend that much money, you can get one for 3 grand all day, automatic,
Hmm.
NA, you know, doesn't really matter the year and at any point in that run.
Great trucks.
Great trucks, indestructible. Um yeah, go get one.
Yeah, I probably will. I'm gonna target that big time.
Yeah.
I kind of had another piggyback off of that. If we're talking like
Okay. Let's
dirt
keep them
cheap right
coming.
now,
Hmm.
a Suzu Rodeo or Honda Passport.
Yeah.
Dirt
Yeah.
cheap. We have low range gearbox. We have plenty of manual options. These things look
Hmm.
cool. I think they're pretty neat looking. They're pretty unique. I kind of think I like the Rodeo, but I think I kind of go with the Passport in this case. For some
I
reason, the
agree.
Passports look a little cooler, and it's an Isuzu vehicle. Let's be honest, it is
Yeah.
the Rodeo. But the Passports are cool. You could get them. I saw a green one with like this tan cloth interior, and they have like a rugged kind of interior, like a lot
Hmm.
of rugged materials. They're just cool, man. I don't know what it is, but grabbing one of those for like 3,500 to 4,000 bucks and having a manual 4-wheel drive, low range gearbox truck.
Hmm.
I mean, that kind of, and it's modern enough, probably on road manners are just fine. I
Yeah, no,
would
for
rock,
sure.
I would
Yeah,
rock the shit
it's
out of that.
I mean, those were just somebody's daily driver forever,
Hmm.
especially, if the path, like the passports are cool. There was one near me in my neighborhood till pretty recently where it was like a green upper, silver lower two-tone.
Cool.
It was
Yeah.
interesting. And yeah, just a good looking,
Hmm.
they're just good looking rigs, pretty no nonsense, you know, very similar really to that second gen Pathfinder
Very similar. Yep.
in really everything except
Yeah.
for they're even less sought after.
Hmm.
And I mean, at least just as reliable, potentially more reliable even.
Super reliable, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
at
mean
that point
they're
they were
good.
running that a Suzu V6, which was pretty
Three
robust.
five, yeah.
Yeah, parts are easy to come by, like
Hmm.
like everything else on that vehicle. I think those are a great play. If you're looking at a budget like truck, you don't care. It's not too nice to worry about, but you can
Right.
still get anywhere you need to get. I think that's the truck.
Yeah, I mean you can get a whether it's rodeo or passport, you can get a totally reasonably nice one at least for our mission statement, right? We're like, oh, it's got a couple of scrapes on the bumpers and like whatever.
Higher mileage, yep.
Yeah, say 180 plus,
Oh yeah, no problem.
2,500 all
Oh,
day long.
all day. Yeah,
Yeah.
35 gets you one that actually looks good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's
And it's
wild.
like has like maintenance records and but yeah, they're capable, they're cool. Um it's interesting how like SUVs are the I don't want to say the height of popularity right now, but they've been the height of popularity for 30 years.
Yeah, they've had their
And
ebbs and flows in popularity,
right.
but yeah, they've repped it out.
And like if you want to get a used, very capable, vintage-ish, maybe
Mm.
modern vintage SUV like these, they're almost free. There is no shortage in options
Right.
under $3,500, say our budget for the rally beaters.
Hmm.
Like that would if we had the same challenge of like, oh, we're going on a gentle off-road driving adventure, you only have $3,500 to spend.
You messed up.
John,
You messed up, Frank. You said if. You should be saying
doing this
when we do our
when appropriate.
$3,500 after the rally, of course.
Yeah,
Let's do a $3,500 soft
it's
road challenge.
3,500 is almost too much. Is what I'm getting at though,
Get out of here.
because
I'm
you can
putting
find
tires are way pricier for the
they
off-roading
are,
goodies. And a lift
but like
minimum.
you don't have no, you
I'm
don't need
doing
a
lift.
lift. Don't need a
Bro,
lift.
hold my beer.
No, just I don't know. Weld the spider gears on the diffs and just full locker it.
Gross.
Yeah, how to break things on the trail 101. But like I guess what I'm saying is like 3,500. This is an easy assignment.
Yeah.
But for like a fun sports car,
Mhm.
it's a much harder assignment. It
It
really
it
is.
certainly is, but I want to leave room for mods and like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, off-roading is just fun to throw like mods at. That's just part
It
of
is.
the theater, if you will, for
Mm-hmm.
off-roading. But Dude, I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong with a rodeo or a passport. I think that's a really, and I'm looking at those. It's like those and Pathfinders are fighting each other right now because I don't know, they're just cool and they're cool
Yeah,
enough, man. Vintage, and I
they are.
use the term loosely. Vintage
Mhm.
off-roaders are pretty fucking hot. Like, uh, they're pretty in and they're pretty fun. And I don't know,
They're
like,
in, but like
ah,
I think as far as like what brings money and what people pay up for, it is very much
mm-hmm.
a have and have not, right?
Yep.
Where it's like, oh, you want a Bronco, 20 grand. You want an Isuzu Rodeo, 3 grand. Oh, you want a two-door GMT 400 Blazer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Decent one, 15 grand.
Right. Yep.
Oh, you want that two-door Pathfinder, or you want that Trooper,
Mm-hmm.
or Montero, free,
Sure. Yeah.
$0. And so which
You
is a
got to
little
fix it,
different.
but whatever.
Yeah, you got to fix, which is a little different than like,
Mm.
I feel like those buys are a lot harder to find in the enthusiast car world,
Very
as
much.
far as like sports cars, I should say, where
But
like,
they're just
yeah,
as enthusiast minded though. Like some of
they
these
are.
trucks,
Yeah.
there's so much to love. Like my Trooper, there's so, and I keep going back to it, but there's so much to love. That truck had so much personality,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you can find that with most of these. Functional personality too. I think these would be great trucks. And you
Yeah.
said Montero, which I think is fucking very similar. That's like an analog to my Trooper, especially the early ones. They were super stripped down, just
Yeah.
truckness, right? Like that's all those things were. And I dig on those early two-door models.
Mm-hmm.
But like also I'm a huge fan of the later ones, the four-door, the larger one that was more of a I'm gonna take a
Yeah. I
shot
like
at
the
a land.
second gen.
Yeah, taking a
Second
shot
gen,
at
I
like
think,
the
is the sweet
Land
spot.
Cruiser, right? Like in
Mm-hmm.
like capability and luxury and cost because they were very pricey. I think they're super cool. I like the gauge cluster in the middle, stuff like that. You know, simple
What
stuff.
What's your thought on Montero Sport? Obviously, it's not the same, but I think
Not
that's.
a
But it's funny. It's like you park that next to a rodeo, which we were just singing its praises, and they are strikingly similar.
Very similar. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. Well, Bronco 2 kind of falls in that camp too. You talked about how expensive a Bronco is. You can get a Bronco 2 for nothing still.
sure. Yeah,
Um,
but I mean, I'd rather have. I like Bronco twos. I've
I
got a
like
soft
Bronco
spot for
2s a
those.
lot too, dude. Well, I'm an S10 Blazer kind of guy, so it makes sense that I like a Bronco 2. But you're right. The
Mm-hmm.
Montero Sport, I don't know. I just feel like I don't go diet when I go Montero. I go for the full Monty, if
Well,
you will,
because
the
that's the
full
thing. Because
Montero,
like
if you will.
because that's the thing. It's like, oh, you can get like the cheap. Let's say you find a $3,500 Montero Sport, right?
Hmm.
Cool, great. A full ass Montero is not that much more.
It's not,
You can get
no.
comparable mileage condition, just full on Montero equivalent for like an extra $1,000.
Yeah, you're talking automatics for most of these though, but
Yeah.
still for off-roading, automatics and no shame in the automatic game. If as long as it's a good
Mm-hmm.
auto gearbox, I prefer like just if you're doing pure off-roading, auto's the way to go. But
I
for what
agree.
we're talking about, enjoying it, mild trailing, on-road stuff, gotta have a manual for me. It's a have to.
Um,
It really is. It's just for the
it's not a
fun.
half. It's not a have to.
Oh.
It's like a mild preference when it's like a body on frame truck or
Hmm.
SUV. When we're talking the Outback XTs of the
Hmm.
world, yeah, I need a manual.
Yep. Yep.
But we're talking in a Pathfinder, we're talking in a Montero Sport. It's like, yeah, I suppose like I lean towards the manual, but it
Hmm.
absolutely isn't a deal breaker for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for me, it's more of I gotta have the satisfaction of slotting my own gears. There's something about it, especially
Mhm.
with these. If I'm getting a $3,000 passport, god damn it, I'm gonna call some shots and get a manual in there, Frank. I need three pedals.
Yeah, fair,
Gotta
fair.
live. Gotta live.
Um, since we're just keeping up with the SUV chatter, okay,
Mhm.
this might not quite check the box for reliability.
Mm.
I really, really have a soft spot for a disco, specifically disco two.
I see. I think the LR3 is the buy.
I just that upright boxy of the disco one, and then I like the treatment they did for the Disco 2, where it's the
Mm.
same classic shape but more upright and opulent. Um, God, I think they're so good,
The issue is
except they're
price.
so bad.
Yeah, but super clean ones, people are still asking stupid amounts of money for. Where you can get an LR3 for 6 to 7 to 8 grand for a good one. And by good one, I mean shitty one. But I mean like
Well, they all are.
a good
Yes.
shitty one. And you can get an LR3 in green. The interiors are very nice. I think I'm team
I
LR3. I think I am,
man.
dude. I think it's the bargain of the century. If you're talking about Land Rover.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Mm.
It's like what's like the Clarkson meme with like the two cars side by side. We're like, this one's great, but I prefer this one. Or it's
Sure.
like like
Uh,
this is the objectively the better thing, but I like the shittier one.
Yeah, it's not really
That's
like
me
it's a
and
better
Disco.
vehicle. I think it's a better deal because it's not old enough to have been appreciated. Now, if someone
Mhm.
has restored like a second gen, they're pricey. That's my problem, right? And if you don't put that sweat equity in, you're gonna pay
It'll
for
bite
it
you.
on the
Yeah.
side of the road, right? But
Mhm. Yeah, it's hard to own a cheap one because it will make itself not cheap quite quickly.
quickly, yep.
But I'm a gambling man. I would get the cheap one and then just
Get it in that minty green or whatever the shit that is.
really almost any color. I
Yeah,
There's a lot in that like cream white.
yeah. I was gonna say the off
You can
white. Yep,
go camel livery, right? And get like
sure,
the trophy truck livery. Um, they are very, very cool and they're
Mm,
very, very capable. They're
agree.
just usually very, very broken.
Okay,
But doesn't mean I don't want
always
one. Any
good stuff.
any other ones you wanted to any other
Uh,
boys you'd like to bring to the yard?
Of course, I put Sidekick Grand Vitaro on there.
Mhm.
If I do want to step it, as the family expanded, I do like the 4 door aspect of it. I did like throwing my kid through the Trooper sliding back windows.
Of
That was fun.
course, yes.
My son got a kick out of
Whoop.
that. It added to the sense of occasion,
The
if you will,
drama.
for off
Yeah.
roading. But no, Grand Vitaro or Suzuki Sidekick 4 door is it checks all the boxes. It's still small. It's still very
Mhm.
capable. Can squeeze down any trail. I think they're cool as fuck. Low
They're
range,
cool.
4-wheel drive is excellent on those. I think they're cool trucks.
Would you go sidekick?
I would, yeah,
4-door sidekick?
I'd go Sidekick. Yep.
Yeah, those are cool. Real boxy, real upright.
Yeah, they're cool.
Kind of that cheese grater
Hmm.
kind of front end. Yeah, no, those are good. And I know the later ones had the 2.5 V6.
Yep.
The earlier ones had. Could you still get that V6, or was it only the 2 liter?
Boy, I think they had the early ones had the 1.6,
Right.
16 valve.
Yeah.
Was it a 1.6? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the 1.6.
Yeah,
And the
it
same
was a
as your
six.
tracker.
I think they almost always came with the 16 valve at that point,
Yeah.
because the early cars are the ones that had the 8 valve. So you get your 92 horsepower, dude. You don't.
Yeah,
Beggars
buddy.
can't be choosers.
Yeah, except you all of a sudden you sneeze and you're back to downshifting into second
Sure.
Highway 17 territory
Yeah.
like you're a trooper, you know?
But God, they can squeeze down narrow trails,
Mhm.
all those kind of benefits.
Something to
right?
be said for that.
Yeah. And they're cheap. They're super cheap. The 4 doors, especially. I don't know. Though the removable tops, like my tracker and those sidekicks, are a little pricier because they're kind of fun and more obscure. But these 4 door ones really don't hold any value. They're pretty
No,
dirt
they
cheap.
don't. Yeah, a lot of them were pretty unloved. Like I feel like
Yep.
those are very much welcome to deferred maintenance territory.
Yeah.
The good news is parts are pretty cheap,
Mhm.
and they're not, especially the 4-cylinder ones are pretty freaking easy to work on.
Oh, yeah.
About
Space
as
for
easy as
days.
an object gets. So yeah, we'll come back to this.
It's a good topic, man.
Sure.
And I think
because I maybe really soon.
he's looking at
We'll
something.
see.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it hard too, man. But I gotta clear out some. I kind of have an adventure truck in my garage already, but I need the 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, no, I get it. The other one quick honorable mention before we put this topic to bed. Like me leading off with the slightly lifted wagon in the Outback XT, the less exciting but higher build quality and potentially more plentiful and easier to find version of the same thing,
Okay.
the Volvo XC70.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my favorite flavor, if and when you can find them in Ocean Race spec,
Hard to
which
find.
is hard to find. They are out there.
Mhm.
You really don't get much other than like some different color interior bits and leather. And I think they were all maybe fully optioned, if not close to it.
I think they were, yeah.
And which was, I believe, the Ocean Race is like simply just like a boat race.
Hmm.
And it gets to pay homage in the form of a Volvo off-road
That makes sense.
station wagon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure, but those are cool.
They're super cool. Yeah.
They're cool. XC90s are pretty. Sorry, XC70s
Hmm.
are pretty slept on. They're just like an object.
Yeah.
I'm picturing the first gen, but those second gens, think of it like a slightly lifted, slightly less powerful, V70R.
Right. Yeah.
And they're good. Not exciting,
No.
but for a
Decidedly so.
go like extremely light off-roading
Sure.
and on-roading and reliable and comfortable and safe and take the family somewhere and sleep in the back.
Good vehicle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very
You got
nice.
anything else?
That's dude, I shot my shot. It's we
The
killed
wad
it
has
though,
been
because
shot.
there's a lot of and like here's the thing, man. There's a lot of bang for your buck and pretty high fun factor driving around these older trucks. So
Yeah, a lot of bang for your bus.
yeah.
This
Hey
is not
now.
a bang bus shirt I'm wearing, by the way. This is Bob Log the Third. If you know, you know.
You could have
But
done Captain Stabbing with that boat reference, but we'll keep it going.
definitely, yeah, it's the implication. But yes. In the meantime, I think we've.
Oh.
I'd like to play a game.
Oh no.
Yes. I will. You want to tell the people at home what the hell we are up to?
Okay, Frank's about to subject me to a little thing we call, around these parts anyway, the
Mhm.
automotive print ad quiz game show. And we need a little intro. That's all we got today. So, what we focus on are automotive print ads. Now, these are from the 80s, 90s, mid 2000s. He's going to read it out of a magazine, is where they originally dwelled, but now they're on the interwebs and we read them poorly to one another. He's going to omit anything that gives away what he's talking about. I have three guesses to figure out the make, model, and preferably the year and special trim for bonus points. What he's talking about. Every time I do fail or guess incorrectly, get the fuck out of here. He's going to give me a hint. Probably not a good one. It's probably going to send me in it's kind of an act of misdirection at the end of the day. But
Oh
anyway,
yes.
and I'll have 10 minutes to get there. But play along at home, guys. This is a lot of fun. And shake your fist at your windshield as I flounder through this. Frank,
Yes. Definitely get violent.
do us a solid and roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay, I will flick some beautiful bean footage.
Hey now,
And the footage
again.
we're looking at today, it's a one pager.
Okay.
The top half we see the vehicle in motion. We're looking at our front 3/4 image like we normally do, and it's on a road. There's a sunset in the background. Above it says 0 to totally convinced in under 10 seconds. And then underneath it, there's a side profile.
They couldn't even make an aggressive time under 10 seconds.
Under 10. Got it. So you got a side profile of the car, and then then in the middle there's you get to see the interior as if your head was resting on the seat cushion of the front passenger seat, looking at like the shifter and the steering column.
Okay.
And then there's a passenger rear quarter image. It says, introducing the all new blank 2+2 coupe. Admit it, your heart beats a little faster at the thought of driving a sleek sports coupe with an engine that's strong, a cockpit that's high tech, with standard dual airbags and handling that's been refined by a world famous German sports car manufacturer. Meet the blank blank. In Spanish, it means blank. And under its beautifully sculpted roof lives the kind of driving excitement that inspires your soul, and the kind of dependability that inspires your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Blank's 1.8 liter dual overhead cam 16 valve beta engine has the power to produce driving excitement, plus the sophistication of high technology to keep routine maintenance to a minimum. And Blank's available 4-speed electronically controlled automatic transmission features
Ooh.
adaptive control. It actually learns your driving style and adjusts itself for maximum smoothness and efficiency. At your command in the FX model is a 16-valve fuel-injected 2-liter double overhead cam engine, producing a rousing 140 horsepower plus standard features like 4-wheel disc brakes, alloy wheels, a power control package, cruise control, and a rear spoiler. Plus, Blank is protected by one of the best warranties in the business, which includes 24-hour roadside assistance for 3 years. Then it's got one more little blurb underneath that side profile image I was talking about. And it says, in quotes, this is a quote from Motor Trend magazine. Quote, "Move over, Celica. The affordable Blank has your number." Chadwick, what are we working with here?
I have no idea what the hell we're talking about. Did I pick up automatic only on this one? I thought you said that as a little upsetting.
Available 4-speed electronically controlled automatic.
Okay, cool. So 1.8. It said the interior.
It said the FX. You got the 2-liter.
Right.
The 1.8 or 2-liter.
Interesting. So like could it be a Corolla? I don't know. What was the comparison at the end? The Celica, so it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think they curb stomped their own sporty coupe.
So the interior was the part about the German part was a little confusing. Was it designed by an individual that had vacationed in German, or
potentially? It says handling that's been refined by a world famous German sports car manufacturer.
Okay, so
doesn't say who it is.
That's definitely not Lotus. No badge for you. So 1.8 liter. Compared to the Celica
or 2-liter
in the FX variant, and it's not an FX Corolla. Who else is running FXs?
Isn't that the channel that hosted like Nip Tuck forever?
They had some good programming on there. Wasn't It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia on FX?
I believe so. Then they had those really annoying commercials like FX has the movies. And it was just like them.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep.
Okay, so 2-liter, 1.8, 140 horsepower in the 2-liter?
In the big boy. In the big block. Yeah.
So the iron block, aluminum head. What are we fucking talking about? FX. I'm feeling this is Japanese. It sounds like a Japanese ad. But what the fuck had FX? It could be Nissan. No, they had NXs like the Pulsar. This is not a Pulsar. FX. There wasn't too much else that really shouted anything unique about the vehicle, except for the German suspension. Maybe it had Bilsteins. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're referring to. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't pay enough to actually be able to use their name.
Right. Yeah. There's the color scheme. They're like blue and yellow, but there's no logo.
Blue and yellow. Blue and yellow.
Oh boy, this is not a German vehicle.
I doubt it. I don't think they'd be touting.
No.
It was designed by a different German manufacturer. Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mercedes has the guy sign the fucking engine, so let's be honest.
That's right.
Boy,
Hans.
It's always Hans. He signs a lot. He just sneaks in and signs everybody's finished projects. Fuck, Frank, this is tricky, man. This is tricky. My mind went to Nissan. It feels Nissan-y, but FX. We're not talking about Subaru RXs. By the way, there's an RX for sale. I almost sent it to you, like in the wild. Engines. Timing belt went, so it needs an engine. I don't know how easy those engines are to find, but I saw an RX. But FX. We're not talking about Infinity. FX35.
That'd be rad. 45. Gonna go big dog.
Oh yeah. FX20 in this case. I'm stuck, dude. FX. It's not ringing a bell right now.
We've got
5 Minois, probably.
5.5.
Okay.
Uh, Go ahead. No, shoot your shot.
I don't have one. So compared, the only thing was a Celica or a Celica.
Mhm.
So am I missing something obvious here?
One thing I didn't read, it's probably not going to do anything for you. That there's a little thing where it talked about one of the best warranties in the business. It says it's a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty. I'm assuming this ad came out of a different market, but this is very much an us market car.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's really 5 years, 60,000 miles effectively.
Or they did that to trip people up and they come in with that mileage and they're like, no, you fool, it's in kilometers.
Yeah, exactly. Here's my dick. Play with it.
Got you, Yank.
Yeah. The 1.8 liter is the beta engine, is what they are calling it. Not Sigma, not Alpha. It's the beta male.
It's the cuck. It's the cuck.
It's
engine.
definitely yes.
Yeah.
It
hotel
sits on
room.
It sits on the cuck stool.
Yep.
Yeah, it sits on the cuck stool while the and weeps while the 2 liter gets to work in the FX model.
Boy, let's go with Nissan Stanza FX. Final answer.
Ha! It is not the Nissan
There's no such
Stanza, which is famously not a 2+2 coupe. The Stanza is a sedan or a weird wagon with no B pillar. Yeah. So it is not the Nissan Stanza.
Fair enough.
I'm going to circle back and say reread part of this where it says meet the blank. In Spanish, it means blank. I'm not saying the word in Spanish because it is effectively the name of the car. If you have an even rudimentary concept of the Spanish language. So, for instance, yeah. So that is
it Tiburon?
It's a 2+2 coupe.
No, it's not. I know it's
in
not.
Espanol.
Yeah.
How do you know it's not?
It's not. It's absolutely not. They only had one engine option for the first gen Tiburon, and then the second gen you could get the GT or SC with a V6, and there was a 4-cylinder. I don't think they had 2 different 4-cylinders in the first gen Tibs. And FX doesn't ring a bell at all. Tiburon, and we're talking earlier than that too. So I think. Okay, so you told me something about Spanish that didn't resonate. that resonated 0.
What sort of assistance beyond that would you like, sir?
Am I in the right country? Is this Japanese?
No.
Okay.
It is not Japanese.
Definitely not German. We're definitely not American here. Let's go. Okay, sir. Let's go. Maybe Hyundai. I don't know. I don't know any of this. Fuck it. Hyundai Coupe. Final answer.
Escupe.
Yeah.
If
I don't know any Spanish, sir. I know French. I don't know any Spanish. I know burrito.
This is not the Hyundai Scoop.
Perfect. All right. How about a real hint?
In Spanish, it means shark.
It can't. We didn't have 2 engine options for the first gen Tiburon. This is an ad from another country, isn't it, Frank?
We
did not.
Are you guessing, sir? Are you making a guess?
I am telling you that Tiburon had 1 engine offering in the first gen in the US. You son of a bitch. He tripped me up. He has a foreign ad, guys. You son of a bitch, dude. It went immediately out of my head. It did. We had 1 engine option for the Tiburon in the US, the first gen. The second gen had the 4-cylinder and the V6.
Hold on,
you son of a bitch, Frank.
This is why you don't guess, sir. Is this your guess?
Yes, of course. And let me think. It's Canada Tiburon, which I think there was another engine option. You son of a bitch.
Hold on.
This is a DQ.
I don't know if it's a DQ. Hold on.
It is. The kilometer should have given it away. Son of a bitch, Frank.
Hold on.
I'm not even Googling because I'm still playing the quiz by the rules.
This is true.
I am 100% right on this one. You son of a bitch.
See,
We only got the 2 liter, I believe, in the US. Son of a bitch, Frank. I immediately pushed it out when you said 1.8 and 2.
In the United States, the blank was first offered in 1997 with the base model using Elantra's 1.8 liter 130 horsepower engine, while the upscale FX received the 2 liter 4-cylinder engine.
There was an
140
FX horsepower. In the first, not in the US. No way.
In the United States.
It said Tiburon FX. You son of a bitch.
Quote, in the United States, the Tiburon was first offered in 1997, base model receiving Elantra's 130 horsepower 1.8 liter engine, with the upscale FX receiving the 2 liter.
I swear
the 2
to
liter
God,
was rated at 140 horsepower at the cranks. Manual.
I have never seen a 1.8 Tiburon in the US of A.
In 1998, the second year, Tiburon lost its weaker 1.8 liter, giving both models a 2.0. All versions received manufacturer McPherson. Oh, interesting. First off, you need to make a guess, sir.
Well, it's Tiburone still. But dude.
Secondly, yes. So the launch year, you can get the beta male option.
Show me one of them. I've never seen a 1.8 Tiburon first gen.
This is according to the airtight reference known as Wikipedia.com.
I've never seen it, man. I only knew everyone I've ever seen it because I've looked at quite a few of them to buy. They're all 2 liters, regardless of year. Even the first year were 2 liters. I've never seen a 1.8.
The McPherson strut suspension was co-developed with. Here's how we can bring this thing home. Who's this German manufacturer that they co-developed with?
It's not Sachs, or is it it's not Bilstein.
Porsche.
Okay. Oh, an OEM. I thought you meant like a maker of suspension. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Were they Porsche, or did Porsche work with an actual
I think they just suspension? Did the design. I think they just did the design and then let them buy it from whatever shipbox.
You son of a bitch. I've never seen a 1.8 Tiburon. If you can find me a 1.8 Tiburon that was for sale in the United States anywhere and prove it to me.
It is why I mean,
if you think, my hat.
Well, if you think about it,
it's
pretty well. I'm saying it's pretty bonkers that they actually offered a 1.8 as well as a 2 liter when all it did was make it's a 10 horsepower Delta, and you have to like federalize both of those motors and EPA and CARB and pay all of that money. Like, why did they? I don't know.
I don't think they did here, but yeah,
they did. No, they did because you threw me because I was like, oh yeah, no, I knew that. And then when you said what you said, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure there were 2 options, and there were, not for long, but there were.
You said what? The first year you could get a 1.8.
Yes.
I've never ever seen one, dude. And
actually, technically 2.
Okay.
Well,
this guy came to me. He came to me with an ad that had kilometers for the warranty. I just want to point that out.
That's fine. So, you can buy these cars in. It is. It is.
Okay. I'm still waiting to see proof that a 1.8 was sold in the US, other than Wikipedia. As much as I'd like to say that's a peer-reviewed academic journal.
We need to consult John Davis. I feel like him and his crew will have much to say.
It's a Canadian ad, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
It has to be.
I have no idea.
What are you gonna do about it? The Tiburon.
See dealer for details. Yeah, I don't know. Here, let me send you a link to the ad so you can.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna see, because I don't think I've ever seen it badged Tiburon FX either.
See, copy the FX. Yeah, you know what? You just aren't Tiburoning enough. What can I say?
Like me, you've lost me at kilometers. What the fuck is a kilometer? 4th of July is coming up, Frank. Don't talk.
I will say they have a cool like Tiburon logo. In the bottom of the ad. No, it's I mean, who knows, right? Zero people know. But I kind of want a shirt with just like the Tiburon.
What's this asterisk? Does not reflect U.S. market. This is a Canadian ad. What was Frank thinking?
They're quoting Motor Trend. Okay, it's not like they're quoting like some weird magazine.
No, it's called Le Motre Trend. So first off, that's your side.
Telling you.
Yeah, look at that. These things are so weird looking. Wait, what the?
I think they're good looking.
Frank,
What?
It doesn't even have the 4 headlights. This is not the US
No, it's a
car.
pre-facelift. It's the introduction. Go look at they facelifted it in like 99 or some shit. I much prefer this version. I much prefer the
I love the
pre-facelift
4
ones.
headlights. It's like a
I
drunk
like these ones.
Integra that got close to a campfire.
This is true. These are like smilier and less drunk.
They are. Yeah, I like the 4 headlights. And it's like
Yeah.
it does have a Celica shape, except like it wasn't designed at all. It's just
It's
kind of melted.
I was thinking more of like heavy like steroid cycle use Cavalier. Like late 90s Cavalier with on like just an incredible amount of HGH.
This is wild, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't even pick up that it was a pre-facelift. You're just not on your Tiburon A game.
Dude.
Which, to be fair, nobody is on their Tiburon A
Show
game.
me a 1.8 Tiburon. If you find a 1.8 Tiburon, I'll pay double whatever it is.
Oh,
and shit. I will buy it.
You hear that, listener? Go find us. Go find us a 1.8 Tiburon for sale, preferably with a manual. And it will be the unofficial mascot of the pod.
So my thought was, and I do remember watching the Motor Week episode. You know me, I like Motor Week Retro. I'm very sure John Davis mentioned it only comes with the 2-liter, but
then it must have been a 98. I don't know.
He could have been wrong.
He's never wrong. He's an American institution.
Okay, well this is a sensationalized.
Look, I just Googled. Whatever. I just searched 1997 Hyundai Tiburon on the Motor Week, and it's the 1997 Hyundai Tiburon FX. It's specifically the FX. That's why it was a 2-liter.
It's because all we had in the States that John Davis could review for you.
No, I'm telling you,
son of a bitch.
All right. They
US
probably
ads going forward.
It's effect. We don't know. What if
kilometers?
Yeah. What if this is in, I don't know, Puerto Rico? I don't know.
But I honestly, like, every one I've ever looked at is the 2-liter. So I'm actually, maybe it's apparently like super rare.
Post facelift with the double
rare.
headlights.
Yeah.
You got to get that first year, the introduction. It's the most
pure,
the purest of shark.
God, it's not.
Yeah, shark fin soup. Anyways, oh boy,
gross, dude.
Have you been working on anything at all?
Yeah, I actually have. I got a little time to do the tracker stuff. So I told you last time I put the water pump timing belt in, got that all secured. Dude, I go to put the rest of the motor together, and I'm like, oh my God, my new water pump doesn't have studs.
So
shit. I'm like, whoa, that's going to be really tricky to attach the pulley to. So I'm like, fuck. And it was like, honestly, 2 to 3 weeks since I touched it last. I'm like, I know I didn't throw the water pump away. I'm really good about this. It looks like a tornado hit my garage, and now I can say that like half of that is Volvo parts that I've been buying. Boy. So it's like parts everywhere. I did find it. So that's why until I finish a car, dude, I don't throw anything away. Luckily, I had the old water pump, but it's the original, 30-something years old.
Good luck.
Yeah. So lucky for me, this car was so babied, and it really had not that much mileage. It's just been towed behind an RV. I use my little nut trick where not that one.
Stack the nuts.
Yeah, stack the nuts.
And never stack your anatomical nuts. Don't do it.
Out, and I usually on something like a water pump, it's extra hard because they're small studs, right? You can do it with like a hub usually and get those studs out, but yeah, it's a little
10
tricky.
millimeter.
10 millimeter, pulled them out and put them on the new one, except the shitty thing is the new one was mounted, so I wasn't going to unmount that. So I'm fucking over the car installing studs. My bad. I should have caught that. You just, like I said, I get a few, like maybe an hour, half hour to get in that garage every night. So I was pretty tired. So that was a pain in the dick, dude. So able to get that fixed up. That's good. I'm ready. Everything buttoned back together. I think I mentioned this at the beginning, but like it had a belt squeal on startup, and it ended up being the entire bracket it wasn't attached to the block. Like they left the bolts off it, whoever did something last. So I actually got 2 matching bolts, put that back on there, took care of that. Brand new accessory belts, put all that back together. Looking real good under there, man. I'll send you a picture. It cleaned up so good. You know how I do it. But yeah, that was a big thing, getting the studs back on the water pump. Thank God I didn't throw that away. Imagine trying to track down those specific size studs for I'm looking for a studs for a 95 tracker water pump. It's like,
it's all about going to pick and pull for like fasteners.
But they're always like a dick to
Oh, and
get
they're
out,
ruined.
right?
Yeah, they're
Like,
always
yeah,
rusty and shitty.
seized
Yeah,
right in there, and then you snap them right every fucking time. But
yeah.
lucky for me, and honestly, guys, if you do tinker on these cars, don't throw anything away. I always have a pile of the used parts just sitting there, just in case for hardware.
But it's good. You could always just call your local Geo dealership.
Pretty sure it's porn, right? Wasn't that porn when we called?
I assume, yeah.
They'll get your nuts
it's
off.
either still what was it? What was the one we called that they answered?
Pontiac.
OnStar. It was
Pontiac for
OnStar.
OnStar,
Yeah.
the old Pontiac. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's either OnStar or porn.
Win-win.
You know what? That should be this should be a t-shirt. Should be a new it should be a t-shirt, and it should be a new game that we play. I mean, we kind of do play when it's in an ad, but is it OnStar or is it porn?
Yeah, so that's it for me, man. Big win there, getting that together. So now it's fun things like brakes and valve cover gasket, spark plugs, the easy stuff, and then obviously bringing the paint back is going to be a challenge, and the new top, dude. Convertible tops suck dick to install. Yeah. It's horrible. But yeah, that's all I got left, baby. So I got some garage time in. How about you, man? Anything?
Anything? Sort of.
Did you work on your 1.8 Tiburon that doesn't exist?
No, not yet. No, I need to pay a specialist to work on it. It's far too fancy
in Canada.
The Canadian specialist has not returned my calls. I have been, and I sent you pictures of this thing when it came through car donation. I'm wrestling with myself about.
Why didn't you get back? Didn't I say something to you? Didn't I say we should do something with this car?
The Vitara?
No. You're not going to talk
Vitara.
about the purple thing.
Which purple thing?
The purple thing with the convertible top.
Purple thing with that purple thing with the convertible top.
Yeah, that one.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to see that car tomorrow.
That's the one I'm pumped about, buddy.
Yes, I will let you know. So there's a couple of potential ragtop beauties coming through my car donation plug. The one Chadwick is discussing is
This is a fun one. This is a very.
I don't remember car. What year.
96 California.
I was going to say, I think only 96.
Ti. Yep.
Yeah,
they had that
318
top.
Ti. 96
that top
California
was an option, edition. Right? Like going forward, but it wasn't called the California. California only 96.
Yes,
I did my research.
I believe they're all 5 speeds. I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it in person. My understanding was ran when parked 7 years ago.
Woohoo!
I don't know where it was parked. I don't know how it was parked. I don't know what happened to it since it was parked, but I will be seeing it tomorrow. And yeah, if you're unfamiliar, it is a tried and true power recline cloth top, big hole cut in the roof, slides back like an old Volkswagen Beetle.
Always leaks.
Always leaks.
Always leaks.
Always probably impossible to fix.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not a good thing, but it's a cool thing.
Is it in Daytona Violet? Is that the purple or is it?
I don't know. I think it's more the bluey.
Yeah, there's 2 violets. That BMW.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an ultraviolence or Nightmare. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember all of my difficulty levels on Doom.
Oh, ultraviolence. I thought
ultraviolence was the second to last, the second hardest. I think Nightmare was the hardest.
That's a Clockwork Orange reference too. A bit of the ultraviolence. Yeah.
Yes, it is. God, what were the other? I don't remember the other 3 difficulty levels on Doom.
Can I play Daddy? Was the beginning one?
Yes.
Did you think I was asking you a question, Frank? You looked longingly into the camera.
I just say yes and stand up, and I'm completely pantsless. You may play Daddy. So there is that. The other one I'm thinking of is the other one I sent you photos of, which came through Car Donation months ago. It is a 2000 Suzuki Vitara, not a Grand Vitara, just a regular old Vitara. And what made it less grand is that it is a 1.6 liter, 5-speed, 2-door, soft top, AC delete, manual windows, manual locks, stripper model, medium blue metallic, white top, gray interior, steel wheels. It's got like 115-ish thousand miles.
Nothing.
And so I told before I had bought, before the Focus SVT came into play, I was like, ooh, this would be dreadfully slow, but it'd be kind of a funny shit box to take on a rally, right? So I told Rich, I was like, hey, like, you know, when you go through it and you get it small, like, let me know, tap me on the shoulder. before it goes off to the masses.
Mhm.
Because if I could scoop it for like, it's a good driver, right? If I
Yeah.
could scoop it for like 22 grand, $2,500,
Sweet.
because it's a 2-wheel drive stripper model.
Mhm.
Um,
Very
not super
parallel to what I
desirable, but
have. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool, moderately undesirable.
Mm.
Your generation, the boxier ones
The
are far
boxier,
more sought after. And so I was like, if I can get to say like 2 grand, 2,500, I can actually maybe put some like sticky tires on it and like see what happens. Maybe die. And I
Probably.
did find like lowering springs, like Ibach, like 1.5 inch lowering springs. I was like, ooh, this could be an interesting
Mhm.
shitbox experiment, right? Because it's cool, but it doesn't have really any value. And so
Mm.
I would actually feel okay modifying it. Like I'm not breaking a thing.
Right.
So, well, guess what? It refuses to set the catalytic converter monitor,
Ugh.
which,
Yeah, that's a tough one.
but it also leaves the door open for
Low ball.
maybe I can really get it cheap.
Yeah.
Right. Because if they're because they're not going to sell it to Joe Blow off the street unsmogged, because Joe Blow is just going to not smog it and get the thing impounded.
Mhm.
And then it's going to come back and it's going to negatively hurt them. It's going to negatively hurt the person who donated it, because they're not going to be able to get it out of their name, and on and on and on.
Right.
So they're just not going to, they are smart. So they're not going to just sell it like unsmogged.
Mm.
So they've put like 150, 160 miles on it. Has not set the cat monitor. They've replaced upstream and downstream O2 sensors. Yep. Hasn't done it. It's not throwing a cat code. It's set all the other monitors, just will not set the cat monitor. So if it just refuses, right? They're driving around. I told Rich over there, hey, like, if you need to find an outlet for it and it still refuses to set that, like, I will transfer it in my name. I'll keep it on a non-op so I can get a title, get it out of the donor's name. And then, I don't know, might just try and make something out of like, all right, kids, let's figure out how to get this thing past smog.
Mm-hmm.
Aftermarket cats do look like they are available. What's funny is Rock Auto shows one. It didn't say carb legal, but it said it's California emissions equipped compliant.
Okay.
So
as long as it looks,
as long as it looks the part, and
it
sets the monitor, might be okay. It's like $400 for the cat.
I know.
And then but you can get a who knows? What if it's not the cat, right? Yeah. What if it's like an ECU issue, or the O2 sensors that were put in were not playing nice with the computer, and they got to just maybe they're densos and it wants NTKs. I don't know. But or I just like register it to my in-laws place in Idaho and call it good. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm like, golly, if I can for like $1,200 or something, which I think would be fair all around.
Yeah, driving a car that going to be very
smog,
going to be very similar to mine. Yeah. So
same,
that'd be fun if we had little.
Yes, 2-wheel drive
convertible trucks.
Suzuki extravaganza. Yeah. And just start like the Tracker Vitara sidekick, like Northern California owners group.
Right.
Drive them on a beach or something. So yes, so we're on Vitara watch.
I like it. So I like it. All right, let me close this down.
Please do.
We've been going at it.
Put us out of our misery,
guys. Thanks again. We really do appreciate you stopping by, hanging out with us, because that's how it feels. Hopefully we had some fun. Hopefully we learned a little bit about Tiburonville in Canada. Hopefully you guys actually picked a little cool stuff out of our off-roading piece, Budget Off-Roaders. I think that's cool. If we missed anything, obviously leave some comments.
For Shin Kia Sportage.
Yeah,
whatever.
That's a good one too. But yeah, YouTube, we're on there. Obviously, listen to where you listen to your podcast, but check us out in video format on YouTube. Please subscribe. Join up. It's free. I think we're running that promotion all month long. So jump on there.
Sign up now.
Yeah, leave some badass comments for us. We love the feedback. And then follow us on Instagram, where we do post once a quarter. I think we're mandated to do so by our investment folks and our board and everybody else that directs us how to do this horrible thing
that
we do.
Money.
Yeah, you know how it is. I want to make a Diddy joke right there, but I backed off.
Yeah, you freaked off.
Yeah, I freaked off.
Yes.
That's an oily situation.
It is.
But anyway, yeah. Personally, you can follow me at Auto Obscure Garage for all your
Mm-hmm.
rescues, restorations, and reviews. Tracker stuff coming out, doing an obscure short every Friday. So tune in for that fun stuff. Frank, where can the good folks follow your personal endeavors?
Oof, boy. Yeah, I'm trying to. I think I've run out of obscure dating platforms to
Hmm.
use as a joke here. There's got to be a Scientology mingle or something, right?
I
So
guarantee.
you can find me there.
I think it's
We
called
could,
Battlefield Girth.
yeah, definitely,
That's too
exactly,
good. That's gonna stick.
absolutely Battlefield
Yeah.
Earth. Yes. We can do that. John Travolta's there.
Yeah,
And
getting a
so
massage.
exactly, yes, on
It's
an
too
airplane.
much.
So yeah, you can hang out with John, Mr. Travolta, and myself there, as well as Instagram, occasionally YouTube, the club, at the photographer's garage. So
Mm.
see what nonsense I'm up to there. And otherwise, yes, thanks for tuning in. And yeah,
Yay.
until next time.
We'll see you guys in a week. Love you.
Um,
Take care as always.